Hello and welcome to the 6th installment of my grading of all of the base game cards. If you want insight into the grading system, check out the description or click on the link in the top right hand corner to get to the first video of the series where I explain it all. But let's get started. I think Capital is kinda hard to rate. It has very high potential as it can turn otherwise shitty city spots into perfect ones. Scoring 3 points from oceans and 3 from greeneries for a perfect capital just feels amazing. But the card has so many problems. It's insanely expensive, not only because it is the most expensive city in the base game, but also because it uses up 2 power prot. To get the most out of this card, you need to play it early on, but at that point, the cost is going to kill you, and you don't know where the oceans will go down yet. But if you play it later, the MC prot is useless, and also most spots next to oceans will be occupied by greeneries already. It is an okay late game steal dump, but again, the good spots will most likely be gone, and a card like Open City is often just easier to get down and more reliable. I want to like Capital, but more often than not I do not pick it up in the draft. The potential is very high, but I have to give it a C tier overall. Carbonate Processing is a solid way to increase your heat prot, if you have some power prot left over. You can spend some steel on it, and it is a cheap tag for builder. But in a best case scenario, you want to combo it with more heat prot. Why? Well, 3 heat prot is kinda awkward. It takes 3 gens to get to 9 heat and then again 3 gens more to get to 10. With just 1 more heat prot, you would have made 3 temperature steps at the same time. That's why I like GHG factories much better. It's a more efficient use for your power prot and benefits you much sooner. I think Carbonate Processing is just D tier. It's solid in the early game if you can combo it with more heat prot and if you have cheap power, but that's too many ifs for C tier in my opinion. For every game in which Caretaker Contract is actually useful, there are about 100 where it's absolute dogshit. When is it good? Well, when heat is maxed out incredibly fast while oxygen and oceans are still low. Also, you need to have 8 heat prot or at least enough heat left over to fuel this for the rest of the game. And Thermalist is either not in the game or can't be funded anymore. But why are you not pushing the other tracks while having so much heat? You have one important component of a good fast game strategy and you're unlocking really efficient plant producers on the temperature track. This scenario just seems so contrived and therefore it rarely happens. Don't get me wrong, if you draw this late game it can score 1 or 2 points in the right scenario and then it's okay, so it's not F tier. But I would never pick this up in the early to mid game and plan my strategy around it. That's just not happening. Again, it's not totally useless, but just one of the lowest priority cards and therefore D tier for me. Cartel is a win more card in the early game. Earth tags include some of the best development and utility cards that you want to play in the first few gens. If you pick a few of them up and get them down, you are probably in great shape already. And then Cartel is just amazing and gives you some incredibly cheap development. This means that it is often even worth it to play in the mid game because it can pay back really fast. Or if Banker is in the game, even in the late game, as it is one of those cards that can flip that award on its own. But how to rate it? If you have just 2 Earth tags down, it is already better than Acquired Company, which comfortably landed in C tier. Also, Cartel regularly is a card that you do not want to pass, and all that combined makes it a B tier card in my opinion. Let's talk about CEO's favorite project next. This very cheap event requires you have a resource accumulating card, for example an animal or microbe card, or something obscure like Security Fleet. Most of the time, CEO's favorite project is played in the last gen to just get 1 more point, which is great value for 1+3 MC. The only downside of course is its reliance on that resource accumulating card. If you do not draw one, CEO's favorite project is useless, and it can't even be played to make money with Media Group in that case, as you need a target with a resource already on it. This also means this card can't score 3 points on Search for Life, because remember, that card can only score 3 points max. Of course, you can use CEO's favorite project to stall in the late game, it gets better with some combo cards, it's absolutely bonkers with Physics Complex, and it can even be used in the mid-game on cards like Regolith Eaters for a surprise bonus bump steal. Also, don't forget that it can also be worth it to play this on something even as bad as tardigrades, as there are no half or quarter points. If you get that one microbe that you need for another point, then that's another point. For me, CEO's favorite project is B tier. It's very good but low impact due to its low cost. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you agree with my ratings, or if not, how you would have rated them differently. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. And lastly, please check out my Twitch and my Twitter. See you in the next video.